Today we are checking out Diatonic energy chimes. Hey everybody, AJ from Didge Project here, and what you are looking at is the Elfen Chakra Chimes. This set is really spectacular because it has one of the most special vibratos I've ever heard on any energy chime set. So this video is talking about what you can do with a diatonic chime set. And what is a diatonic chime set? Well, diatonic, or the diatonic scale, means it's a 7-tone scale, basically akin to the major scale. And in this case, we're talking about C major. So basically you have the notes of the C major scale, a couple of them repeat, because obviously you see there's 9 chimes here. And you can pretty much play any chords or combinations of tones that you would play in the C major scale. So if you want to just find the 7 basic tones, you're just going to look from here to here. This is the C, D, E, F, G, A, B. And then here you have the higher octave C, and this you have what the maker of Elfen Chakra Chimes calls the healing tone of low A, which is really nice because it basically lets you do not only a C major tonality, but it gives you that low A where you can make a nice A minor tonality out of them. So let's hear them, let's play a little bit, and I'll let you be the judge for yourself. So what you're hearing when I play different chimes in different combinations is pulse beat frequencies. It's frequencies where the pulsations are interacting, they're dancing around, and they're creating these resultant effects. So pretty much any 2 tones will create a pulse beat frequency. On most instruments, you're not going to hear it very strong, but these have such particular harmonics that come out of them that it just makes these crazy pulsations and vibrations in the mid to high register. You'll notice the more tones I play together, the more complex the harmonics, those really high frequencies, kind of dance around with each other. So what makes these chimes resonate so magically? There's actually magic in there. I really don't know. You could ask the maker, but I couldn't tell you because to all outward appearances, they look just like any other energy chimes, despite the fact that the bodies are painted different colors of the wood. But you know that it's a very special metal composition that's making these vibrations happen. And I could not explain it to you because I don't understand why these energy chimes have such a special vibration, but they do. All right, so let's talk about what you can do with a diatonic chime set. So first of all, again, we're in C major, so we have all the chords that are in the C major scale. So let me just demonstrate some of those. C, E, and G is going to give you the C major chord, and I can also hit the high C here, the white one, to make a full 4-note chord if I want to. So that being said, I can take any other diatonic chord. Here is D minor, so I'm going to take D, F, and A. Now I'll take E minor. Now I'll do F, which is F, A, and C, and I can also jump back to the low A and low C on this particular set. The key of G major, G, B, and then since I'm only in one octave starting and ending on C, minus that A down there, but one octave, I have to jump down to D. So I'm basically playing an inversion of the G major chord. Then I have A minor, which on this one we have the low A, C, E, A, high C. So there's actually 5 notes in the A minor chord on this set. And then the last chord is B half diminished, which is B, D, and F. We're going to play it in an inversion here. And you might not have a lot of application for this in a sound healing environment, but if you're playing along with certain songs and they use this tonality, then yeah, use it. So those are the primary chords you're going to get with a diatonic energy chime set. Now, another way to use them, instead of just having them laid out here, is actually to pick up a few of them, anywhere from 1 to 4 or 5. I wouldn't try to hold more than 4 or 5 in your hand. But what I do often, say I want to pick up an A minor chord, I will, say some other musicians I'm working with are playing A minor, and I want to get in with an A minor. So I have my A, C, E, another A. And that's 4. That's already pretty full in my hand. And I can just take this now and I can play it and walk around and I can wave it over people. I can really move around the whole space with this. So I'm not like tied to a table or a platform. So definitely picking up the energy chimes and bringing them out to people in a sound healing context is a very, very good way to work with them. Did I mention these chimes have an insanely long sustain? They're still going. So another option, instead of picking up just the chord tones, is to say pick up a pentatonic scale. And this is really good in this particular set in the key of C major or A minor. So let's do C major. So I'm going to pick up C, D, E, G, and A. If I can fit 5 in my hand, I will. 5 is a stretch, but hey, it works. As long as you're very careful, you can do it. So again, when I'm using these in my hand, I'm moving around the space. I'm bringing them to people. One other thing that the Elfen Chakra Chimes offers is this tray, which is just a very simple wooden tray with some velvety felt here, but it is nice to tidy up your chimes and transport them, and kind of, you could also use this as a way to have a table and walk around with. So I will put the chimes on the tray. And there you go. So now you see how this kind of organizes the chimes a little bit, and yeah, it just kind of keeps them displayed nice. And again, if I want to now take this and walk around my whole sound healing environment, it's actually much easier. One thing with the diatonic chimes is you have so many notes harmonically that they might not always work together in any order. So if you want to scale it down, say you want to just drop out 1 or 2 notes to make sure that you can just play them in any order, I would suggest on this set, C major, taking out the F and the B, which is the 4 and the 7. So just to show you what that looks like, I'll explain why after. But basically now I'm in a C major pentatonic or A minor pentatonic scale. So the pentatonic scale is great because it's a 5-tone scale. Even though you see 7 bars here, the A is duplicated and the C is duplicated in 2 different positions. But this really allows you to just play the notes almost in any order and for it always to sound good. And that's why you hear pentatonic scales in so many world traditions and cultures, from Asia, Africa, Australia, South America, North America. You hear melodies in the pentatonic and minor pentatonic scale because it's just natural. It's natural to explore that sequence of notes and improvise in it and find melodies and find good things. So I do recommend that if you're just starting out, scale it down to this amount, and then, you know, when you're ready to start getting into chords that have F, like F major, D minor, for example, or chords that have B, like if you want to have a G major, which is very common in C major scale, then definitely add those back in. Now, another thing when you have them laid out like this and you have 2 mallets is you can do a lot of more rhythmic patterns, and you have now the option of playing 2 notes at a time. So if you've watched our video on how to play the mallet harp, there's a lot of 2 mallet exercises in there, a lot of patterns where you kind of alternate or you hold one drone and you play. And I'll just try to do a little bit of free improvisation with some of those techniques so you can hear. Now remember, with these instruments you got to have a lot of space, so you just want to play a few notes and let them ring out. I mean, it's not something you need to do all the time, but it's going to have more impact. If you start playing all 9 notes all together, it's going to get very noisy and it's going to be, you're going to get some clashing. So you want to kind of like play one chord, let it ring out, play another chord, let it ring out, or play one couple of scale tones and let them ring out. I wouldn't just go ahead and play all 9 tones. So here's kind of an example. On this first one, I will just drone the A. Another thing I might do is kind of play some chord changes. So for example, on this first one, I will do C major to F major. Then if I want, I can go to G. And then resolve it to the C. So this technique of playing chord changes is actually something I do a lot when I'm working with other musicians in sound baths and they're playing something like a guitar or a harmonium where they're actually spelling out chord changes, and I can follow along. I don't need to do very much. I can just do this. Say I want to do that same chord progression, C, F, G, C, but I'm only going to play 1 or 2 notes as kind of like a line that passes through the chords. Another thing you can do with these chimes is actually place them on the energy centers of a person's body while they're laying down on their back or otherwise. You can place one here, 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 etc. And you can also place them on the hands or wherever healing is needed. And there's actually a whole system developed by Elfen Harmonics, the company that makes these chakra chimes, that shows you how to do it. So here's some pictures. You can see people getting chimes directly on the body and what that looks like. So this set in front of me is the Vedic chime set. As you can see, it's colored slightly differently. It's still a C major set with the low A and the high C, 9 tones. Here's C and A. So let's just hear a little bit more of the Vedic set. So there's a ton more that can be done with a diatonic chime set. I just wanted to give you a few ideas of how I work with them. I've really come to love these Elfen Chakra Chimes, which we now have available in the Didge Project store. Check out the link below. And make sure to keep following us, hit that subscribe button, and we have more great content on all sorts of cool musical instruments and music things coming up. Thanks again, and we will see you in the next one.